the areas close to the windows, of course, the light was better, but in the areas away from the windows, it was very, very dark. So they went, they spent there some time, and like 10 or 20 minutes, until they heard something struggling or kind of a fight in a corner. So they decided to approach the corner and see what was going on. So they see this. They saw this figure of dehumanized, a human, but not really that human, very distorted human shape in one of the corners again. For some reason, apparitions like the triangular shapes of the upper corner between the ceilings and two walls. So this was well known by Alex, and now by Brandon as well. So they approached and they saw this figure. Alex said, well, you know, I think this time you should try something different than what you did before. Brandon was curious and tried to ask why, but Alex said, you know what, we are in this situation right now, I will explain you later. This is kind of dangerous. This does look like an evil entity. So Alex took Brandon's book, opened it, and showed him what he wanted him to read. Now Brandon started reading. It was a different passage of the book, but not as hard. He had read it before, and again he lost conscience. And he didn't exactly know what was going on after he woke up. And Alex told him, well, what happened is you got possessed by this entity for a while. You start talking with me, we talk about the situation. Was really angry or semi demon. It was. It seems that she was a human. She was murdered by a colleague here in this area. The body was disposed as a regular body as a patient that had died. For some reason, this murderer managed to hide all the evidence and get rid of the body. It seems that was someone important in this hospital who did that, and she was really angry and claimed revenge and started doing evil things because of that. And what happened with her, asked Brandon to Alex, and said, no, don't worry about her, she's in a better place right now, she's gone. Now they both went back to the doctor and said, you know, we know the situation, it's okay, we will do this, we will do it this time because of the people, for the public, so nobody ever gets harmed by this evil entity. And so they leave, and after a while they could get rid of the fungus that was affecting the walls, and everything went back to normal, it seems, in the hospital. Now, after this, one person arrived to the store that Brandon has near downtown and leave a message. But at this time, Brandon was not there, so Megan took the note and just waited until Brandon came back the next day. So Brandon arrived, and Megan said, "We know somebody comes here. I don't know. He says he wants you to call him. It's about a haunted house or something." He said, "Well, I don't know what had happened but how he find me. But let me call him and ask." So he called him. It turns out this guy was one of those TV uh, ghost hunters, and he was making a for a living. He makes like fraudulent ghost claims and everything. But once, or at least this is what he was telling. You know what? I found something for real, and I got real scared. And I know you. I know you're kind of famous, and people's talking about you in this environment. Um, and Brandon kind of recognized him and say, "Oh, I think I saw your shows once." I said, "Yes, I do this show and everything, but this time I think I find something for real, and I got real scared. And but I do want to film it, and because this is the first time in my life that I have something for real. I want to film this." Brandon didn't want it to do it, but at the end, the guy offered a good quantity of money, and Brandon said, "Oh, okay, let's do it." So they went to this. Actually, this was a very famous haunted house downtown. Brandon had heard about it. There are rumors all over town about this house. Most of them, of course, Brandon was thinking they were lies. So this house was abandoned. It seems like a couple lived there. The husband killed the wife, and then killed both of their sons, and then committed suicide. So nobody of the family, that let's say relatives, want anything to do with that house. Even the legal owners that have the house just leave it there because they don't even want to do anything with it. And when they try to sell it, when people went there to work on it and rebuild it, the workers just got scared and didn't want to work anymore. They didn't want to go there anymore. So the house was abandoned, impossible to sell and impossible to fix. So they arrived there, and for some reason this guy had the keys. So they opened the fence that was surrounding the house, and the house had no doors, or a part of the ceiling was collapsed. So some of the walls were broken, parts of the walls were already peeling. So they enter, and well, let's wait until it gets dark. It gets dark. So this guy and his crew, he brought his crew, and he put some cameras, some heat detectors, some noise detectors, and some magnetic variation area, let's say fields detectors and stuff all over the place. And they started recording. So after an hour, Brandon decided to go back to his previous things, and he took the black fabric, put it on the floor. After he took a tour all over the house, and he found that the back corner of the property, and at the end was the area with the larger amount of energy. So he decided to put there the fabric. He put there the candles, the white dust over the fabric, some objects on it, and everything was getting filmed by this guy. And they were all these people were with the sensors and everything on, trying to figure out what was going on. So at this time they were close to 10 p.m. Well, after 10 p.m., 10:20, let's say, it was not really deep in night, but it was already dark. And they were just chatting about how the show is made and everything, and how they trick the people and to believe that all this stuff was real. And Brandon just was listening about all this acting and stuff that they do to in order to achieve an audience. So, well, Brandon decided, you know what? It's dark enough now. Let's start with enchantment. So he took his book. For some reason, it opened in a different page, and he had a hint. You know what? I'm gonna try this and see if it works. If it doesn't, I just go back and do the normal spell that I usually do. But I will try this one. And so he started reading, and this deformed human shape appears. This time it looks very, very dark, and the feeling around it was very full of sorrow, angry, and just awful. It was a very awful feeling. Brandon approached to him. He was curious and talked to him about what happened. And it seems like both of the children that her wife had were not his. After confronting her wife, she confessed that, and he killed her in anger. And stealing in this anger, he went and killed both of the childs. And he felt sorrow and about what he had done. So then, after trying to touch him, to pat his back and comfort him, Brandon lost his conscience again. Then he woke up and he was on the floor with the crew members around him, and they say, "Whoa, it was great and it's perfect and everything, and we have the tapes and we have everything. This is just wonderful. You did it," and etc., etc., etc. And Mom said, "Okay, I just feel really bad and I need to go home." And so he went home. And the next day, he woke up in his house, and he went to work and said, "Oh, you know what? This guy that called last time just give you a call again. He said he needs to talk to you." So he called, "Hey, what's going on? Do you have everything you need?" And he said, "You know what? Nothing got on record. We have records of you. We have the records of everything. You have what you say. We have all of it. But we don't have the ghost. It's not there. Not of the sensors, not of the cameras. Nothing got him. So we have nothing. It was useless." So at the end, he refused to pay, and Brown said, "Well, fuck it. It's okay. Just leave it like that." So that was that story. And after that, some months passed, and Alex called Random again and said, "You know what? We need to go to this place in this other country. There's something really interesting going on there, and I want you to come with me." Brandon was curious, but you say, because and everything was going to be paid by Alex, so he said, "Well, if it's nothing, at least I have small vacations." So he took his chance. They went to the airport after planning everything, how many days they're going to stay, where they're going to stay, etc. They meet up in the airport, and they took the plane. They arrived in this other country, and went to customs and immigration, everything. And they were met by this. They went to the hotel. Next morning, this guy, let me see, Mr. Carter's, arrived to the hotel, and he was waiting on the living room for them. So they came down and met him and said, you know what? He explained the situation. Uh, he is the owner of a cemetery in downtown, a very old one. And the workers, or the guards, the security guards that work at night, were complaining about a lot of stuff, and they are saying that they're going to quit, and they're going to, if he doesn't do something about it, and say, well, I don't believe on this. So I called, I went to a store of magic stuff and stuff, and I tried to convince this guy to come and say, you know what, I'm gonna call somebody, and here you are. Well, it turns out that all this was somehow end up with Matilda Nicolas. Matilda Nicolas called Alex, and Alex called Brandon. So it seems like Matilda did have an international network of witchcraft and magic at the end. So this is what Brandon found out after figure out after all this situation. And he didn't ask Alex about it, but he was sure it was how it did work. So he said, well, we need to go. The owner of the cemetery says, you know what, we need to go there and please figure out what's going on. But I want to make sure that the guards see you, and because at least they will feel we are doing something, even if it doesn't work. So they went there at night. The guards were waiting for them. This was at this shift, and this time was only one guard. And he opens the doors of the cemetery, and they present themselves and stuff. And the guys say, well, you want to know where the things are going on? I want to take you there, but just be careful, because this has been happening for all the time, and every time it's getting worse, and I'm getting scared of working here. I try to keep myself away from that area, but my job is just making sure nobody breaks in, and I need to go also there because it's really close to one of the fences, one of the walls on the perimeter. So they went there, and it was this old tomb, you know, those ones that are crypts, very fancy, very beautiful, and say, well, this is the place, and I'll let me know if you need something. I just need to go. I don't want to be here. So he left, and he left them there with some lanterns and for illumination and stuff. And Alex told Brandon, you know, this time we probably will need some of your stuff, but just this, and this. So Brandon took some of the stuff out of the bag and put them and stuff, and said, well, now Alex took something else that was a very strange stone. He said, we're gonna need this in order to make this creature a little bit less stronger. This will debilitate his strength, so we can deal with it. And he put it really close to the entrance of the script, and just step a little bit back. Now, you know, I need to explain you something. Say, Alex to Brandon. What we're going to do is we're going to call this guy and see if he answers you. And Brandon said, call? Oh, yeah. And he opened his book and find a passage that's for invoking. And Alex just looked at him and said, oh, yeah, that's correct. That's the one we need. So Brandon started reading, and a small breeze just moves around